Hello everyone, Joshua Myers here, and you thought we were done with the Halloween franchise for this year? Well, guess again, because I decided I wanted to try to finish up the Halloween review series because of the fact that Halloween Kills is coming out next year. I figured I'd review maybe one or two more for this year, and then next year I'll probably do the rest. Like, just basically getting this franchise review series done before the end of next year when Halloween Kills comes out. I already did the first 4 Halloween movies. I already reviewed them. I already reviewed Halloween Resurrection. I already reviewed the Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And I did Halloween 2018. So now we're on the next one here, and that is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers from 1989.
He's back with a vengeance. Halloween 5, rated R. Starts Friday, October 13th at theaters everywhere.
Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers stars Donald Pleasence, Daniel Harris, Ellie Cornell, Don Shanks, Bayou Starr, and is directed by Dominique Afenin-Girard. The plot of Halloween 5 is that after lying in a coma for a year, Michael Myers, portrayed by Donald Shanks, awakens and stalks his way back to his small hometown in Illinois, intent on killing his 9-year-old niece, Jamie Lloyd, portrayed by Daniel Harris, who has been confirmed to a mental institution since Michael's last attempt to slay her. Suspecting a psychic link between Michael and Jamie, psychiatrist Dr. Sam Loomis, portrayed by Donald Pleasence, joins forces with Sheriff Ben Meeker, portrayed by Bayou Starr, and attempts to stop Michael Myers' latest rampage. I do have a few. Now, before you go in the comments saying, you're wrong about this! Halloween 5 is like the worst movie ever! Okay, before you start doing that, let me explain. I'm just going to go say this. It is not a good Halloween film. I'll just get that right off the bat. But after rewatching it, there is some good things about it. You know, I'm not just going to ignore the fact that there are some good things in this movie. You know, because it's art. You know, film is art. You know? So, and with me being a filmmaker, I understand that I've had some massive stinkers too, but at least there were a few good things with that. Like, for example, a lot of people didn't like my second Saw film, Saw in Game Part 2, but yet there were a few good things in there that some people stated. Like, for example, one of my friends, Andrew, who was in my first movie and second movie, a lot of people actually said his performance ended up being better in the second movie. So there was some good things about it. Just like with Halloween 5, there are some things I do kind of like. And then there's a lot of things that, boy, when it's bad, ooh, it's bad. But we'll get to that later. Let's just talk a bit of some positivity for this film. The first positive I have with Halloween 5, honestly, is the cinematography in some shots. When it's during at night especially, like, mainly the stuff where the focus is on Jamie Lloyd, Dr. Loomis, and Michael, the cinematography is pretty good, for the most part. Like, there's a lot of just cool lighting techniques and that, which I probably would have used, to be honest. So, I'll give this film credit. It does have some nice cinematography. Only when, again, it's dealing with stuff with Jamie, Dr. Loomis, and Michael Myers. Oh, actually, there is actually a pretty fun sequence. It's during the Tower Farm sequence. It's more so when Michael Myers is chasing Jamie with by trying to run her over with with the car he stole. That actually is a pretty fun sequence and action-packed sequence, actually. To be honest, I think they actually utilized the whole, Michael Myers could drive aspect pretty well, actually. You never, until this point, really saw Michael try to kill someone by running them over with a car. You never saw that. The most you've seen is Michael Myers using a car to get from one destination to other just to go and kill someone. So the fact that he did that actually gave more lineage to the idea that Michael could drive. I actually do like that idea. And again, it's a fun sequence. Also, another sequence that's probably my favorite sequence out of the entire movie is when Jamie is trapped in a laundry chute and Michael's trying to get her through it. You know, first he goes up, like, because she's, like, at the front of the laundry chute where the laundry goes down and everything, and Michael tries to get her through there. She falls down. Then Michael Myers tries to go to the other side, tries to grab her and stabbing her and all, like tries to stab her through the laundry chute. And it's a pretty tense sequence, actually. Like, I was on the edge of my seat with it. That's probably the only scene throughout this movie that had the most suspense. So that's probably my favorite shot of the movie. Also, Danielle Harris, while not being utilized much in this movie, at least as much as Halloween 4, and the fact that she was mute throughout most of this movie, which we'll get to all that in my negatives, I think she basically did her best with what she had to work with, and the best she did, I think she did pretty good, actually. She's still, at the time, a really talented child actor, actually. At least they got a good child actor to pull that off. If they had gotten someone that was really bad, it would have been much worse, trust me. Also, I thought Donald Pleasence did pull off a pretty good performance, even though I do think they kind of did some stuff with his character I didn't care for. Which again, we'll get to my negatives. I really liked, speaking of the opening to Halloween 5, I really liked the opening title sequence, where it's like playing this kind of like eerie music. It's like, and then during all of that, you see like the slash of knife and stuff like that, and the knife like being brutally carving a jack-o'-lantern and all of that stuff. It's like, that is a cool title sequence, not going to lie. And accompanied that with actually some pretty cool music by Alan Howarth, who came back to compose the music for this film, which he did co-compose Halloween 2 and Halloween 3 with John Carpenter, and then took over for John Carpenter for Halloween 4 in this film. So yeah, he, again, like I said in my Halloween 4 review, if they did not had got John Carpenter back to do Halloween 2018, then Alan Howarth would have probably been my second pick. Oh, and then there's actually a pretty, like, probably my favorite kill in this movie. It's not very gory at all, but it's when there's this character called Mike. Yeah, they're like Mike or Michael. So there's two Michaels in this movie. Ha ha ha. But anyway, it kind of looks like a character off of like Grease or something like that. I don't know, but again, we'll get to that in my negatives. But this kill was pretty awesome. So Michael scratches up his car, which he was obsessed with his car and all that stuff. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Christine, actually, with that.
Okay, asshole. You wanna play? Trick or treat!
And then it's like, trick or treat! And right in the face. That is a cool kill. And it's not really that gory. You see a little bit of blood, but that's it. You don't really know 100% exactly what it looked like. I love that kill. Outside of that, those are my only positives. I actually do like the idea that, like, it kind of does a Halloween 2 where it picks up right at the end where Halloween 4 left off. You know, to kind of like have a connective tissue with Halloween 4. I do like that. I think that, I don't know, I guess for better or worse was probably a right thing to do. Or maybe not, depending on your point of view. I think it's a mixed bag with that idea. Because of the fact that some of the decisions it made, it probably pissed off tons of people. And it probably would have been better if the movie was not connected to Halloween 4. But for some people, you know, continuity is a pretty good thing to have. So it's kind of a mixed bag for me, honestly. where did I begin? Okay, let's start from the beginning. The death of Rachel Carruthers. I thought that was done in an unceremonious way. Not only did you have it to where they have her stripped down for like obligatory nude shower scene, and the fact that she's barely in this movie and very early. I was surprised because I didn't remember her death happening that early in the film, but it's like 10 minutes into the movie or something like that. They kill her off in an unceremonious way, and Michael Myers just stabs her in the shoulder with a pair of scissors. Originally, it was meant to be worse. Originally, they wanted, I heard Ellie Cornell said originally they wanted Michael to shove the scissors down her throat, but she was like, nah. So that would have been much worse, but this is still bad. I think they should have, had her be alive throughout the rest of the movie, and then if they wanted to kill her off while trying to, basically just sacrifice herself to save Jamie. That would have been a much more ceremonious way, maybe going out with a fight between her and Michael, and then Michael ends up killing her, and was the way for her to have, give Jamie some time to go away and, just basically run away from Michael. That would have been much better, I think. And speaking of which, after that we get Tina. Ooh, Tina. Let's talk about her real quick. Tina. This character, how should I say it, is fucking obnoxious. Seriously, to be honest, when she first popped up in the movie, it does not feel like a Halloween movie. It honestly feels like something out of Full House, not Halloween. And to be honest, I wanted to do this. This is what I was doing, basically. It was fuck my life. My guess is that, because I've heard through interviews and stuff like that, they wanted to have Tina be kind of the outgoing, energetic, extroverted type of character, bit quirky. And I'm on paper that could have worked, but execution-wise, they just made her one of the most obnoxious characters in this franchise. Seriously, no joke. I'm not sure who's worse. I'm not sure who's worse, Tina or Busta Rhymes. To be honest, I would much rather watch Busta Rhymes than to watch Tina. So yeah, I think Tina's worse than Busta Rhymes in this movie. Now, while I said Donald Pleasence's performance is pretty good still, he gives it his all in this movie, he comes across as kind of creepy. It's like having him be basically grabbing this 9-year-old girl and basically being in her face, and it's why are you protecting him? And it's even the nurse was Dr. Loomis, leave the little girl alone. And even Tina later in the film, even straight out says he's acting all creepy. It's stay away, you're really creepy, with all filling this girl with all this boogeyman crap, and to be honest, she's not wrong, because to be honest, Dr. Loomis comes off as a creep in this movie. Now, I do understand the fact that at this point, Dr. Loomis had probably had it with this Michael Myers shit, so that's why he's a bit more but still, could have they at least made him less creepy about it? And another negative I have is the actor who plays Michael, Don Shakes. Again, not trying to bash the actor, just his portrayal overall I thought was very stiff. I think he did look overall better than Halloween 4 for the most part, than George P. Wilbur did in Halloween 4, because he didn't have the shoulder pads and but he has a pretty bad mask that kind of looks almost like Michael Myers if Michael Myers fucked an alien, And that's what you would get, is a Michael Myers alien love child. That's what the masks look like to me. I know that too. Speaking of the mask change, it's like they basically did the whole thing of like, you know, opening where Halloween 4 ended. And it shows the Halloween 4 mask, and then all of a sudden it just switches, turns into a completely different mask. All of a sudden. That is just kind of a bit jarring to me. Oh, and also speaking of that scene, there's a scene where Michael Myers is floating down the river and stuff like that. It's like, there's just way too many shots in this movie where Michael Myers is in a kind of like, you know, basically vulnerable positions. You should not have the boogeyman or the embodiment of evil in these vulnerable positions unless you intend to kill him off. That's the only way I'd be comfortable with that, if you intend to kill him off. But they don't do that in this movie. There was just so many times throughout this movie. There's even like at the end where they capture Michael, finally capture him. He's in a jail cell, and for some reason the police just allowed him to wear his mask still. It's like, why? Why did the cops decide to just allow Michael to wear his mask in a prison cell still? Like, wouldn't they just, like, wouldn't normal procedure to be to just take off that mask as evidence? But no. He's just like, Michael's all like, yeah, whatever, I'm caught. Just playing with my chains. Another negative I have is the introduction to the Man in Black. This character that just pops up with these silver-tipped boots and trench coat, fedora, and this character they showed that he has some connection to Michael Myers, because in the opening it showed Michael Myers has this like weird tattoo on his arm, and also the Man in Black does as well, so there's a connection with that. And to be honest, there's no real reason to really have this character in the movie, really, because he's like, he appears in some scenes and then it goes back to the main story. That's it. And I heard that's because they ended up adding this character late into the filming, and the directors had, like, just the people involved had no idea who this character was at all, or what his purpose is going to be intended for in the future of the franchise. In fact, they basically just left it up for somebody else to figure that out, like to write and figure all this stuff out in the next movie, which ended up being Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, and that took about 6 years. So people just had to wait to find all this stuff out 6 years after this film's release. Which, yeah, of course, the ending is a cliffhanger, so... Oh, and there's also a scene in the barn, like the Tower Farm barn and stuff like that, where there's like kittens and stuff like that. Like, why are there kittens? Like, seriously, why are there kittens? Also, you got these two bumbling cops and that who are supposed to be the comic relief of the movie, but seriously, there's this weird sound effect that's put over them whenever they try to be comedic and that, but I could keep on going on and on about my negatives of Halloween 5, and if I were to, we'd be here all day. Plus my battery's kind of dying, so we just need to get this over with. So let's just get on to my rating. So with that said, I'm going to give Halloween 5 a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Man, originally I was kind of had a tough, like there was a tough decision to be made, because I honestly did not know what rating to give this movie. I originally was going to give it a 3 out of 5 stars because there was some things I didn't like in it, but after talking about it in this review, I'm like, all the negative stuff just frustrated me about this movie, so I decided to give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. This is kind of sad considering most of the Halloween films that came out, even though I had issues with Halloween 2, have been pretty solid up until, and I think this was the movie that definitely was the downfall of good sequels, and they were doing pretty decently up until this point, and I have no idea why. I heard supposedly the director had really no interest in doing a Halloween film. He just wanted a free picture deal with Compass International and that, and so yeah, he had no real interest in doing Halloween 5, and you could tell he had no real interest. Again, there were some good things about it, but other than that, this is a bad sequel. Like, a lot of people might say this is the worst next to Halloween Resurrection in terms of sequel. So that's it for this review. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.